शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam thematic series. The 6 answers of Sutta Goswami to the 6 questions of the sages. And we have been discussing the series 1 to 6 onwards, where Sutta Goswami has already answered what is the highest benefit for humanity and what is the essence of all scriptures is to practice parodharma, that is Shuddha Bhakti. And we in the series have been taking up the second aspect, that how parodharma is the highest benefit for humanity, and the essence of all scriptures is to practice bhakti. Bhakti means pure devotion. And varnashram is not parodharma. If varnashram you are situated and you are not developing attraction for Krishna Katha, then your practice of varnashram is shrama evahi kevalam. So, in a negative way, positively, what is the essence of all scriptures and the highest benefit of all humanity is established in 1 to 6. Now, the same thing Sutta Goswami is proving negatively by negative concomitants. This is called in Nyaya, Anvaya and Vatirik. Anvaya means to directly prove it, and Vatirik means to indirectly prove it by positive concomitants and by negative concomitants. So that negative concomitants discussion we began in the last 2 classes. And we saw 1 to 8, 1 to 9 and 1 to 11, 1 to 10. So dharma should be performed for apavarga. Dharmasya hi apavargasya. Narto arthaya upakalpate, and not for artha. Na arthasya dayama ekantas. One who is dharma ekanta, he doesn't think about artha. And that artha, with artha comes kama. Kamasya na indri priti. Jiveta yavata. Jivasya tattva jigyasa. Na yascha karma bhi. So these two verses we discussed in yesterday's class. And the goal of life is jivasya tattva jigyasa. Now, within the flow, you can see that what is that tattva? The absolute truth is being defined. Very, very important verse and very, very pertinent verse for us to discuss this. And why it is important is, I'll just mention the tattva is the absolute truth. And the absolute truth, how did Vyas realize the absolute truth? Let me first put this question. How did Vyas realize the absolute truth? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. How did Vyas realize the absolute truth? Anyone? Lakshmi Narasimhan Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I'm not so sure, Prabhu.
But tell if you're not so sure also.
How did Vyas realize the absolute truth?
Yeah. It is there in the Bhagavatam.
Oh, I'm just trying to recollect.
Yeah. Tirthpad Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandapram. So actually, earlier Vyasdev wrote through Karma Kandi section, and through that means so that people in general get benefited.
Mhm.
But by Narad Muni's instruction, he wrote Bhagavatam and told all the essence of personality of Godhead.
Yes, through the Bhagavatam. But how did he first, where did the conception of through the instruction, but how did he actually see the absolute truth, Vyas? You are very true. You have to
By
go a little ahead.
actually through
Pardon?
Narad Muni's instruction, Prabhuji. Before that, he was
Yeah, Narad
doing
Muni's
like
instruction is okay. Narad Muni's instruction, he got the instructions, but how did he realize it? How did he actually, you know, like giving instruction on how wonderful is, pudding. You speak 1 hour lecture, but only when you'll realize about pudding when you taste it. So how did he actually get that? What is the? This is very important for us to understand. You are very close to it. Yes, Nath Prabhuji.
uh, After writing so many scriptures about Anukandi and other things, he's somehow not satisfied
Mm-hmm.
about what you've written, and then he's feeling that something is missing and something is very important, and then finally he got an instruction from Narad Muni about
Mm-hmm.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Kamal Purana.
Okay. Yes. Yes, he got the instructions. My question is that how did he? What happened after that instructions Narad Muni gave? What happened then further? You're all coming to the point, but you're not taking the point ahead. And yes, Nath Prabhuji,
I wrote this.
please stretch your thinking a little bit, one step forward. Ashokatma Prabhuji, yes.
It is the mercy of the spiritual master.
Mm, yes, mercy of the spiritual master came. Narad came and gave instructions. But how did Vyas realize the absolute truth? There are so many verses which are there in the Bhagavatam speaking, how did Vyas realize the absolute truth? Anyone else would like to share their thoughts?
Hare
Let-
Krishna.
Yes.
He, Vyasadevji went into deep meditation actually, and
Okay.
then he saw the truth and the uh, he, and also the Maya is behind this.
Yes, this is the answer. Correct. This is the answer. After the instructions of Narad Muni, Vyas went into meditation, and by pure bhakti yoga, he actually saw in divine mystic vision. It is called as Vaidiv Pratyaksha or Divya Pratyaksha. He saw actually Krishna with all his amshas. He saw Maya, Apashem was backside. He saw the jivas, although they are transcendental, but they are trapped in Maya and suffering the threefold miseries. And he saw the solution as Srimad Bhagavatam. And then he taught it to his son. So that absolute truth which Vyas saw directly in his divine vision, how will we realize the absolute truth? We will realize that Vedam Vastavam Vastu Atra. 1:1:2 Bhagavatam. Vastavam Vastu is the absolute truth. That we'll realize by this verse. Vadanti tat tatva vidas. Tatvam yaj jnanam advayam. Brahmeti paramatmi bhagavan iti shabhyate. That the absolute truth, tattva, it is one. Advayam. It is non-dual. It is one. And it is called as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So then, how we will realize? No, Lord Krishna will not give us that divine mystic vision which Vyas got. And we might be blessed, but by studying the Srimad Bhagavatam, by trying to understand in Tattva who is Bhagavan. For us, Bhagavan is important. Brahman is for Gyanis, Paramatma is for Yogis, but Bhagavan is for Bhaktas. So here you can see here, this is the translation. The knowers of truth, Vadanti Tat Tattva Vidas. Tattva Vida, Vida means to know. Knowers, Tattva, knowers of the truth. Vadanti, they say. Call this truth Advaya Gyan. Tattvam Yad Jnanam Advayam. This is Advaya Gyan, the supreme conscious being. The absolute truth is the supreme conscious being. Who is called Iti Shabdate. He is called as Brahman by the Jnanis, Brahmeti, Paramatma by the Yogis, Paramatmeti, and Bhagavan by the devotees. So that one absolute truth is a supreme conscious being. That one is seeing differently by different people. For the Jnanis, they see him as Brahman, the yogis see him as Paramatma, and the devotees see him as Bhagavan. It's not that Brahman is separate, Paramatma is separate, and Bhagavan is separate. No, it is only one. But the Jnanis, from their perspective, they see it only as Brahman. The yogis, they see it as Paramatma. It is only one truth, non-dual, which we call Advaya Gyan. Prabhupada says it as non-dual uh, in his translation. He says it is non-dual. So let us now a little go into, because we have to understand the definition of absolute truth, because that's how we will realize the absolute truth. Prabhupada says, Advayam means, non-dual. Non-dual means one, but seen as they see this non-dual substance, Vastu. The absolute truth is called as Vastu. Substance is Vastu. Hmm? Vadanti tat tattvam vidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam. Advayam is non-dual, yeah. Tattva, learned souls, Tattvam, yes, okay. Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. Okay, so now let's first go into a little philosophical understanding of this, how these Jnanis see them as Brahman and yogis as Paramatma and Bhagavan as devotees. Now, this is again from Jiva Goswami's Sandarbhas, a little explanation. Now, the level of realization is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And what is realized, the absolute truth's aspect that is realized is Sat by the Jnanis, the seeker. The Sat and Chit is realized by the yogis, and the Sat and Chit and Anand is realized by the Bhaktas. Now, please remember, and this is very important for you to understand, that Brahman is Satchidananda, Paramatma is Satchidananda, Bhagwan is also Satchidananda. But the Jnanis, they are only able to realize the Sat feature of the absolute truth. And that's why they say that it is Brahman is Sat. Brahman also is, Krishna only, Parabrahma, Param Dhamam, Pavitram Paramam. He's Parabrahma. So they term is as Brahman because they are only able to access only the Sat feature. Whereas Brahman is Satchidananda. The yogis can realize the Sat and the Chit feature and they term it as Paramatma. Whereas Paramatma Sat Chit Ananda, but they are only able to access only the Sat and the Chit feature. And the Bhagavan, the devotees, they are able to realize the Sat, Chit and the Anand feature. So this to explain, Jiva Goswami gives the example. So the absolute truth is compared to a gulab jamun. It's a vastu. Gulab jamun is a vastu. Now the gulab jamun has different features. The gulab jamun has excellent fragrance, especially when you fry gulab jamuns in ghee and then dip it in sugar dumplings. So there is, the fragrance of the gulab jamun, especially when it is fried. The gulab jamun has a particular shape, which is round. And then there is texture. They are crispy balls, soft, to touch. And then there is the uh, uh, fragrance, there is the texture, there is the shape, and then there is the taste also. It is very, very juicy, sweet, succulent, madhura rasa, sugary item, right? So there are many other aspects, but let us take only these four. Now, now the gulab jamun is compared to the absolute truth. Although gulab jamun has all this, it has fragrance, it has taste, it has texture, it has color, shape, and all. But when these gulab jamuns are fried in the ground floor kitchen, the mother is cooking, is deep frying the gulab jamuns. Prabhupada said these are ISKCON bullets. That's how initially he was able to attract. And everyone was allowed. It was kept in in the entrance of the temple. Everyone could take a ball and pop it in his mouth and relish nectar. Prabhupada himself is to cook those gulab jamuns. You can imagine what taste this must be. So uh, the mother is cooking or frying the gulab jamuns, and the fragrance goes up. In the first floor, the kid is there. He is sitting and studying, and is attracted by the fragrance. And his mother has locked the room from outside because you have to study. No, you will not have the gulab jamuns. You have to study. So he is far off on the first floor and he is able to experience only the fragrance of the gulab jamun. So although gulab jamun has texture, shape, color, taste, but this student is only able to experience the fragrance. So similarly, the Jnani who is far away from the absolute truth, he is only being able to access the Sat feature of the absolute truth. Although Brahman is Satchidananda. Now, there is the elder brother who has already passed the exam and he is relaxed. He's sitting and watching the TV in the ground floor and he's also able to smell the fragrance. And he is able to go in the kitchen and he sees in the kitchen mother is frying sweet balls. And he goes there. He is now able to see the actual gulab jamun and he feels more thirst for it. He sees they are brown, crispy. He is able to touch it also, you know. But the mother whacks him. He said, "It is not offered. You are no having right to have it. Get lost." So she throws him out of the kitchen. And from the kitchen has some transparent railings, and he's able to only now see the shape. He's able to touch. He has also touched it, but now he's not able to taste it. So although Gulab Jamun has all these features, but he is now able to only access few of the features. So similarly, the yogi who is near closer to the absolute truth, he is able to realize the Sat. Sat is the eternity aspect. I am eternal. There is a reality which is, existing in this world, beyond this world, which where everything is eternal. That is the Brahman's realization. The yogi's realization is when they meditate on the Paramatma in the heart, they become conscious that, they realize that I am a conscious person and there is a conscious perceiver who is perceiving me. I am able to see him, he is able to see me. Chit means to be conscious. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mahi pashyati. He is observing me, I am observing him. That's it. There's only observation, nothing else. And he has awe and reverence. Oh, the Paramatma is all pervading. He is the maintainer of this universe. He is the sustainer of this universe. Because ultimately, this universe is the Paramatma feature of the Lord in the form of Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Karanadakshay Vishnu, and Kshirodakshay Vishnu. They are all the Purushavtas. They are the Paramatmas. So, he has just awe and reverence. So, this is the Jnani yogi's perspective that he is able to perceive that somebody is observing me and I am able to observe him. That's it. There is no service attitude that I should serve that Paramatma. When you start serving the Paramatma, then there is exchange of rasa in the form of dasya ras, sakya ras, vatsalya and madhurya ras. So that has not developed in the yogi. So although Paramatma is Satchidananda, because only there is, when the servant serves the master, there is, reciprocations happening in Dasya Bhav, Sakya Bhav, Vatsalya Bhav, and Madhurya Bhav. And because of these reciprocations, there is, when there is love, there has to be exchanges. There is just awe and reverence. Oh, he is there, I am here. That's it. Is, there is no development where I should serve the Paramatma. So that has not yet developed. So this is the Sat Chitanand. Although the Paramatma is Sat Chitanand, he is able to access only the Sat and Chit. The Bhakta is one who comes to the mother, the younger son, is a child. He says that the mother is flying the balls. Mother, can I offer this to Radha Gopinath? And he offers and he pops in the gulab jamun and tastes the nectar. So he is able to realize all the features of the gulab jamun. So the bhakta who worships Bhagwan in devotional service in different moods, he is able to experience Anand feature of the absolute truth and he is able to realize the Satchit Ananda feature. So that's, Jiva Goswami's explanation about this. This is one understanding before I went to go to Prabhupada's purport. So up till now, with this explanation and understanding, anyone has any questions? One hand has been raised. Anyone else? Two? Okay, so we will take two questions. Anyone else has any questions? No, okay, two. Tirth Pad Prabhuji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandana. Prabhuji, this chit feature, it is actually awe and reverence, in the mood of awe and reverence.
It is in the mood of awe and reverence, but there is no, nearness, oh, he's Mahan, he's a great maintainer, Shasta. No, I'll give you a little hint of how, what kind of mood is there in that. There is this verse. Okay, so I'm just sharing the screen. This is that verse. Kavim Puranam Anushastariram Anyoraniyam Sanusmaretya Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. One should meditate on the Supreme Person. He's a Supreme Person only because Paramatma is also a person. As one who knows everything. He's Kavi who knows everything. He's the oldest Purana. Anushasana. He's the controller. Anyor Aniyams, the smaller than the smallest, maintainer of everything. Sarvasya Dhataram, Achintya, inconceivable. No, Aditya Varnam, he's like the sun. And he is transcendental, beyond measurement. So these are the features. So just again to give an example, if you know that your boss is a very horrifying person, very terrific person, you know, you have, appreciation for his powers, and you don't like to go near and serve him also, because of his nature. So similarly, this Lord is, is the maintainer, controller of everything, you know. So he is very Mahan, and I'm tiny. So, just awe and reverence. So that's how, the conception is. Is it clear?
Actually, my question is, Prabhu, like if it is this Chit feature, so in Vaikunth Dham or in spiritual world also, we like Shantarasa, that
Uh-huh.
so how that is connected with
No, no,
Ananda?
no. I have many times this question comes, and we cannot fathom what is in the Shantrasa in the Vaikunta. But how the Paramatmavadi meditates on the Paramatma in the heart, and he is conscious that, I am perceiving the Paramatma, and he is also perceiving me. That's the level of understanding. Now, that how that Shant Rasa works there in the Vaikuntha is not conceivable, but I will give you an example in this world. The husband and the wife, they are in Madhurya Rasa. Yes. And when they fight, they are staying together. They are they are staying together. They are living in the same room, but they don't see each other's face. You know, and the wife doesn't cook for the husband. And feeds her. The husband doesn't speak to. They both are not speaking to each other. So there is like a Shant Rasa is going on between them because of some conflict. So that much you can understand. They are all there together, but still, there is no reciprocation in the form of exchanges, loving reciprocations happening. See, when there is love, then there is service, reciprocation. So that is not happening. Uh, uh, that's the understanding. Is it clear, Tirpal Prabhuji?
Yes, Puja.
Okay. Is there any further?
And actually, I just wanted to know how they get bliss then in spiritual world. If they don't have so exchange of rasa, then in Sant rasa also, and they are there. So how they get that ecstasy of
Okay. Forget how there, it is beyond our experience. Now, even, why sometimes people have a conception that they want peace, shant. You know, Sometimes many people come to the temple and say, if I come here, I feel shant. Shant means no material desires. Oh, we feel kind of peace. And in that peace, there is happiness. Yes or no? There is happiness.
yes, bro.
So, in the material world, the highest goal is to attain peace, shant, to attain shantras. But from the bhakti perspective, you know, the highest goal is to attain madhurya ras, right?
Yes, bro.
From the dharma, artha, kama, moksha, the highest goal is to attain peace. No material desires. But from this, from the bhakti perspective, you see, it is, the highest rasa is, from the material viewpoint, the highest rasa is to attain peace. So even, some people just, they want peace. Everyone, from their life, they take off, they go to the, hill station and just experience peace, and they experience a kind of happiness there, right? So you can
Yes,
imagine, if that is the happiness, if we are experiencing at a material level, what is the happiness of Brahmananda? No gross and subtle body, experiencing the bliss of the soul. Yes, to atmaratire vasyat, atmatushtasya manva, atmanyavaatmana tushta tasya karena vidyate. You cannot even imagine what is a Brahmananda. So that is the kind of experience there. It's a completely spiritual experience. And superior to that is the Paramatmavadis, because they are one step up. So they're experiencing a happiness beyond the material. So in the material world only we can experience that when we go to we go to just go in the Himalayas and just sit and, free from all material desires. We just sit and meditate for some time and you can feel a kind of happiness. So that is Shantrati. Yes?
Yes.
Is it satisfactory now?
Yes. Yes. Yes, bro. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, it was Virendra Yadav Prabhuji. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dhanatna. Prabhu,
Yes.
in case of devotees, it is referring to devotees at Bhava and Prema level.
What is referring to Bhavan?
This Satchit Anand feature, I mean, exchange of rasa and all.
No, even in the beginning stages of our bhakti, when we come and take prasad, we experience Anand. That is Bhagwan feature only. When we start serving, when we start practicing devotion, we start serving the Vaishnavas, we start serving the spiritual master, we start serving the deities. So direct it is, we are directly connected to the Satchidananda. Of course, that Anand experience is not the highest what the Bhava Bhaktas and the Prema Bhaktas experience. But in the beginning stages also, we are experiencing happiness and bliss in the association of devotees in the Kirtan. Is it not? Yes or no?
Right.
Yes. So in the beginning stages also it is, while we're chanting, although because of Anarth Nivritti not happening, it's a struggle. But there is some happiness. Otherwise, why would you continue chanting? Yes or no? Stop your chanting. Will not stop because you're experiencing something superior. Is it okay?
Thank you very much.
Fine. Any other questions? Anyone? No. Okay. Now let's go to Prabhupada commentary. Now this understanding is important when we study Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary because it is highly technical and philosophical. That's why I before only explained. Prabhupada's commentary is very simple. We'll go through it now. Now, this statement of Prabhupada, I'll tell you, the absolute truth is both the subject and object, and there is no qualitative difference there. This is such a deep, deep statement. You can have an entire class on this one statement, and I gave one class on this statement. The absolute truth is both subject and object, and there is no qualitative difference there. Think about this. And if someone wants to throw light on this statement, I was mentioning, I think yesterday, that Prabhupada purports are deep like an ocean, and they are given in a seed form. You have to go deeper, deeper, and then you can find, oh, there is so much nectar. It's not that Prabhupada has just given ABCD of the philosophy. Gaurav Maharaj used to say that only when you dive deep into the ocean, then you can find pearls, gems, precious items. So when you start deeply penetrating to the Bhaktivedanta purports, you'll find there is so much nectar. So anyone would like to share their understanding of this one statement. The absolute truth is both subject and object, and there is no qualitative difference there. Ashok Atma Prabhuji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, normally in our materialistic decisions, we want to take, we view our decisions both in the objective way rather than the subjective. Subjective means it is a relative term to a particular point. So sometimes you may go wrong if you are taking the decision on a subjective on a particular subject. But when we view the same thing from the point of view of the objective, so then we will win a right decision. So here, Srila Prabhupada's in the philosophical way of explanation, is the qualitative difference is not there. So that means the Supreme Lord, both in the form of experiencing as an effulgence, or in the form of Bhagwan as an objective, both are one and the same in terms of our realization. Quality.
Okay. Quite good understanding. Any others would like to share this thoughts on this statement? Anyone else? Okay. I'll now explain this statement based on the concept of rasa. In any loving reciprocations, there have to be two. You cannot have love, in love means there have to be two. There cannot be one. Okay. So the Vishay and the Ashraya it is called. The subject and the object. So the subject is I, you can say, the Jiva. And loving reciprocation with Krishna, Krishna becomes the Vishay. Okay. Krishna becomes the Vishay. And there is loving reciprocation in the form of Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. For uh, let's again go a little more deeper. I hope this subject and object concept is clear a little bit. Okay. Now, for the devotee, the devotee is like the honeybee. And where is the honey in the flower? So the absolute truth, who is the Vishay there, the honeybee goes and extracts honey because there is honey within it. Now the absolute truth has unlimited rasa within himself, and the devotees are relishing those rasas. Now, from the material point of view, the flower itself cannot relish its own rasa, the honey which is there within himself. But the absolute truth can take the role of honeybee and relish the nectar from his own, lotus feet. So the absolute truth, can become the subject, and it can interchange the position as object. Actually, the jiva is the subject, ashray. The Vishay is Krishna, object. But there is no difference, Prabhupada is saying. So, in one sense, if you see, who came to relish his own devotion towards, the Vishay? Who is that personality who, like the flower cannot take the role of the honeybee and relish its own nectar. But in the question of, in the case of spiritual subjects like the absolute truth, it is possible for him. So what is that? Who changed this position? Yes.
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yes. But now, you see, there is no qualitative difference. Qualitative difference, Prabhupada is saying. So the jiva, when he is relishing rasa from the object, the jiva relishes rasa within himself. But the jiva is whose part? It is Krishna's part. So he himself, jiva, the Lord in the form of jiva is relishing. So that's why the jiva in one sense is also God, for you to understand this. Sukshmanam aham jiva. In the Vibhuti Yoga of Uddhav Gita, Krishna says, I am God in the form of jiva. So that's why the tendency to become God is there in us because we are God in one sense, but we are not God. We are particles of God. We are particles of God. Sukshmanam aham jiva. And being particles of God, we have that quality like God. So that's why Prabhupada made this very remarkable statement. Don't try to become God, become godly, he said, become godly. So that's the point. So of course, I told a lot from the rasa point we can discuss about this statement, but I hope it is clear. Therefore, Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan are qualitatively one and the same. They're qualitatively one and the same. Let's now go to the verse. Which part of the line of the verse is Prabhupada commenting on? Which statement from this? Vadanti tattvavidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwaniti shabdate. What line is he quoting? Yes, Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is it Advayam?
Excellent answer. It is Advayam. It is one. And I made this point very clearly to all of you that it's Brahman is not a separate thing, Paramatma is not. It is that one same thing. Brahman is Satchidanand, Paramatma is Satchidanand, Bhagavan is Satchidanand. But seeker, because he's far away from the absolute truth, that's why he sees like that. Now, suddenly I recalled that Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives this example. He speaks about myopic vision. Suppose somebody goes to have darshan of Shyam Sundar Krishna in a temple, the deity is there. But because of myopic vision, his vision is, very blur. And that's why sometimes you have classes of 10 by 10, 10, number 10 is there. So even if he's standing in front of the deity, he sees what? Something blur, nothing else. He cannot see anything. He just cannot see that. So that is like the Gyani. He's like the Gyani. Actually, there is a beautiful deity of Shyam Sundar, beautiful eyes, nose, all the features. But he can see only one blur thing. So the Gyanis realize that absolute truth is just like one Jyoti, illumination. The Paramatmavadi is, he is able to see some features. Like, there are, his vision is not 6 by 6 full, but, it's little blur. So he is able to see, there are ankle bells, and there are some features, but he's not able to see the full aspect. Whereas one who has 6 by 6 vision, who is very close to the, deities, he's able to see, oh, this is beautiful Shyam Sundar. He's a person, he's Bhagwan, and he's able to see all the features. So the deity is one, but because somebody is far off, he sees it, everything is blur, and somebody is a little near, he can see some features. Somebody is very near who can see everything. So that's also one understanding. So that the same substance is realized as impersonal Brahman by the students of the Upanishads, as localized Paramatma by the Hiranyagarbhas or the yogis, and as Bhagavan by the devotees. Vastu, Tattva. Tattva, substance is Tattva. Vedam, Vastavam, Vastu, Atra. As in 112 it is mentioned. So Tattva is realized as Brahman by the Gyanis. Paramatma, Hiranyagarbhas. They are called as the Hiranyagarbhas, the yogis who meditate on the Virata Purusha, the gross or the subtle form. They are called as the Hiranyagarbhas or the yogis. And Bhagavan by devotees. In other words, Bhagavan or the personality of goddess is the last word in the absolute truth. And ultimately, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Bhagavan is coming last. So this must be the last word. Paramatma is a partial representation of the Supreme Personality Godhead, and impersonal Brahman is the glowing effulgence of the Personality Godhead as the sun rays are to the sun god. So Brahman is the sun rays. Less intelligent students less intelligent students of either the above schools sometimes argue in favor of their own respective realization, but those who are perfect seers of the absolute truth know well that the above three features are the one absolute truth, are different perspective views seen from different angles of vision. So for explaining this, I explained that whole example of that gulab jamun and then the myopic vision of wearing specs. If that, person who has a blur vision, he's only seeing some light. He's not able to see anything in front of the deity also. But only if a pure devotee's association he gets, then he gets the glass. And with the glass, he can see now. So through the glass of the bhakti glass, bhakti lens, he can see. But from different perspectives, from different angles. As it will be explained in the first shloka of the first chapter of the Bhagavatam, the Supreme Soul, Truth is self-sufficient, cognizant, and free from illusion of relativity. Abhigya, Swarat, Kuhakam, Dhamna, Svena, Sada, Nirasta Kuhakam, Satyam Param Dhimahi. In the relative world, the knower is different from the known. But in the absolute truth, both the knower and the known are the one and the same. I am the knower, Atma, and I know, what is outside me. Like, there is a body, and then there is a objects. And that's why we ask. Knowledge means what? To ask. What is this? Knower and known. So there is in Upanishads language, this is called as, anyone knows? It is there in the Bhagavad Gita. These terms are known as what? In the Upanishad language, knower and known. Let us see who will answer this. Knower and known. Priya Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is it Kshetra, Kshetragna?
Excellent. Mataji is a
Chapter
very good,
13.
very
Chapter
excellent
13.
student. I never expected I'll get this answer. Excellent, excellent. Knower and the known. Kshetra and Kshetragya. Kshetra is the body. Idam shariram kaunteya. Kshetram iti abhidhyate. Kshetragya is the knower. So for us, the knower and the known are different. For the Lord, no. His body is Satchidananda. His soul is also Satchidananda. His mind is Satchidananda. There is no difference. They are the one and the same. For us, for self-realization, we'll have to start analyzing difference between body and mind. But for Lord, no. In the relative world, the knower is a living spirit or the superior energy, whereas the known is the inert matter or inferior energy. See, Prabhupada is making that statement in the next. So this is, therefore, there is duality of inferior and superior energy, whereas in the absolute realm, both the knower and the knower are of the same superior energy. There are three kinds of energy of the supreme energy: the Antaranga Shakti, the Bhairanga Shakti, and the Tatastha Shakti. There is no difference between the energy and the energetic, but there is a difference in the quality of energies. This is the Achinta Beda Beda Tattva. There is no difference. Shakti Shaktiman Abhinna. So there is no difference between fire. The fire is Shaktiman and the Shaktis are heat and light. Heat and light simultaneously exist with fire. There is no question that there is fire and there is no heat emanating from the fire or there is no light coming. The moment you start a fire, there is illumination. So they simultaneously exist. They are non-different in one sense. They are one, non-different. But they are non-different, Prabhupada is saying, but they are different in energies. So you sit far off from the fire and you are experiencing heat. But you cannot go inside the fire. You will burn yourself, right? So there is a difference in the quality of energy. So there are different qualities of energies, So that's the difference. So there is, simultaneous difference and non-difference. That is Achintya Bhedabhed. The absolute realm and the living entities are of the same superior energy, but the material world is the inferior energy. The living being in contact with the inferior energy is illusion, thinking he belongs to the inferior energy. This is actually paraphrasing the verse 176, I think. Trigunatma paropi abhimanyate. Therefore, there is a sense of relativity in the material world. In the absolute, there is no such sense of difference between the knower and the knower, and therefore everything there is absolute. So that's what Prabhupada only gives understanding. Okay. So any questions on Prabhupada's commentary up till now, which we discussed? Any questions? Any clarifications? So these three features of the absolute truth, uh, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan, there are many examples given to understand these three aspects. So now I would like to hear from the devotees some examples, because we will not go into Vishnu Chakravarti's commentary because it is very technical and philosophical. I want to prepare the ground for you all. I want to know from you all different examples. I gave two examples. One is of the Gulab Jamun, which Jiva Goswami analyzes in his Sandarbhas. The second example I gave is of the myopic vision of somebody whose eye is not 6 by 6, and he sees things differently. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives us, Prabhupada has given in his purport one example, this purport. I want that explanation. What is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan with those examples? Anyone would like to share their thoughts on these examples? Yes.
Hare Krishna Guru.
Wait, 1 second. Let me mute others. I don't know why. Now, okay, there are 3 hands raised. All the three I will ask, and then we'll end our discussion. Tirtha Prabhuji first. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhupada gives many time example of sun, the sun globe, and the living entities inside the sun globe. Like the first
Okay.
example is the through sun rays, we can experience the sun is there, but we cannot fully know what is sun. It's through light. Light is coming, everything. So sun's presence we can understand. And second is
No, wait. Let's go a little slowly. What is Brahman? What is Paramatma? What is Bhagwan? With this example, you will have to explain.
is true.
Well,
So the sun rays,
mhm.
that is Brahman.
Okay, how the sun rays are Brahman? What is, you know, um, what is the feature of that sun rays? You tell us.
It's light. We can
Okay.
see the light and we can feel heat also.
Okay. And the sun rays are all pervading, right?
All pervading. Yes.
Brahman is also all pervading, right?
Yes, bro.
Yes. Okay. Now, next, what are the now for the Paramatma in the sun example?
Paramatma is from distance we can see the shape of the sun,
Hmm.
and we
The
can
sun, okay, the sun rays are all pervading, but the source of the sun rays is the sun,
sun,
right?
right?
The
Yes,
sun. So if you want to, extract all the sun rays and take it to a source, it is coming from the sun disk, right?
right.
Sun
So that is
disk.
Paramatma future,
That is the Paramatma feature. Okay. And
and
then,
Bhagwan feature is that inside sun globe also there are many living entities and many things are there within that sun globe, but we don't
there
know
is the
anything
sun,
what is
there is
that
the sun god, Surinarayan,
sun god. Yes,
who is
sun
a
god
person. Who is a
person,
person.
who is a person.
Okay. Who is a
Yes.
person.
So
So
that
how you will relate to Sat, Chit, and Satchit Ananda? Tell me now. With the same example of sun, sun disk, and sun god.
so like uh, through sun rays we you cannot see the akar, like we cannot see the shape. Only
Yes.
that is Brahman future. And like when we see the source we can see the shape, something is there from there where the rays are coming.
Mhm.
That in sat and chit.
Mhm.
But those sun god who stay with Surya Dev,
Where you
they can
penetrate inside, you can see the personality also.
personality also. That
Mm.
is
Then you can see the full form.
full form. So that is
Okay.
Anand.
Okay. Also, nothing is impersonal in this world. Even the sun rays have form. There is nothing which is formless in this world. Everything has a form. Even the atom has a form. Everything has a form, but it is perceived like that. Okay. Okay. So quite good. We could go still more deeper into this example, but we'll take the others and wind up for today. Priya Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, you want the same example or any other example?
No. Other example. No.
Okay, so parents want to teach the small child what is train. So they are on the platform, and it's the evening. मतलब रात हो गई है. So suddenly they're sitting there, and suddenly a train comes with a big light. You can see only the light naturally in the night. So by some means, the parents explain the child that this is Brahman, like the rays of the God. So, in general, I'm speaking about teaching the child the complete Bhagwan aspect, the complete train aspect, by the example of train. So, child conceives in his mind, okay, train means sirf light hai. So, that's a half knowledge. Now, when the child grows, they are on the same station, and now they have more time to relax. Now, their studies are over, and they have more time. They sit there. Now, it is daytime. So what he does, like in the evening only, suppose. So now again the train comes. So since they have more time there, they sit and they observe to have a complete picture. So the child sees train is coming with the light, and then the train stops. So then he sees there are compartments in the train. So the light in the compartment. So it's Brahmeti and Paramatmeti again, more like you're trying to learn the train more. So now the child conceives in his mind train means light and there are compartments. So then again he grows and then they're on the same station. And then they are more time, they are more patient. The child is a graduate and then he understands things. Just a small example, you can correct me. Now they have more time to sit and relax and wait for the next train till the train comes. So again, it's the night. The train comes, there is light, and the train halts over there. So there are compartments. And then the child observes that there are some people going inside the train and some people coming out of the train. So then the parent teaches the child this is the complete picture, light, compartments, and people are going inside and out. So it's in a sense,
Okay,
yeah.
I got it. This example is given by Prabhupada. And, here we have to stick on that the train engine is run by a driver. There is a person who is running it. There's a person who is running it. So, it is mentioned somewhere that, the Britishers started laying tracks and trains started moving. The villagers, farmers, they did not know. When they saw this train coming, and there is no one who is running it. They were mesmerized and used to offer obeisances whenever the train is to pass. Why? So here your example is excellent. The only seeing the light and concluding, oh, this is what the train is. But no, there is an engine behind the light and there's an engine driver. Okay. So there is a person, Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan. Excellent. One more example. Yes. Who had raised the hand? Last example we'll take and conclude. Who had raised the hand? It's Ravikant Prabhuji who had raised his hand. Yes, I've unmuted it. Yeah.
I raised my hand, but my example is the same. Whatever the Prabhuji.
Any other example anyone knows? Raise your hands then. Last we'll take. Any other examples anyone knows? Which Prabhupada is to give? Anyone else? Prabhupada gave the example of suppose you see a huge green mountain from far. Everything is green there. No, just greenery, greenery, greenery. That's like the Brahman feature, he said. And you go a little, you can hear some sounds of the chirping of the birds. They are also green birds. There are other things. Just you can, there is some activity happening. It's not just only green. There's a shantras, na? There is no there are activities there when you go near. And then when you go inside in the forest, you see that there are varieties of living beings like the birds and all. Then you can see that it's not just green. There are certain other aspects when you go inside the mountain. There you can see that there are living beings also, personalities, and they are actually there in the mountain. So like that, Prabhupada gave that also example. Okay, so tomorrow we will take up this next, Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary on this, which is very important, technical and philosophical. I did not want to start it today because we don't want to complete it half. We have to complete the discussion. And because it is little technical and philosophical, it will take some time for us to understand. So that's why I thought we will not start it today. So tomorrow we will take entirely Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary and try to understand it. Okay. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Hare Krishna.